Deep, deep down in the ocean, where sunlight can't reach, a little submarine is exploring. It glides over the sandy bottom, and then it sees something impossible. A lake. There is a whole lake at the bottom of the ocean. It's not a trick of the light. This underwater lake has its own shoreline. It even has little waves that ripple across its surface. Picture this, young explorers. A lake inside the ocean, sitting there like a secret puddle in a giant bathtub. This strange place has a very mysterious nickname. Scientists call it the Jacuzzi of Despair. Now, isn't that a funny name for a lake? A jacuzzi sounds warm and bubbly and fun, a place where you'd want to splash around. But the second part of its name, despair, sounds very sad. This name is a big clue. It tells us that this amazing place is also very, very strange. The mystery of why it has such a spooky name makes us want to dive in and find out more. So, what's the secret? The first clue is salt. The water in this underwater lake isn't just a little salty like the rest of the ocean. It is super, super salty. It's about 4 or 5 times saltier than all the seawater around it. Because it has so much salt, the water in this lake is very heavy. It's much heavier or denser than the ocean water. This super heavy water sinks all the way to the ocean floor and settles into a big pool, creating a lake that just won't mix. Seeing it is like looking at a scene from another planet. The edge of the lake is a perfect, clear line. You can see the surface of this underwater lake shimmer and wiggle like a magical, misty mirror lying on the seafloor. And the shoreline isn't made of sand. Instead, it's surrounded by thousands and thousands of bright white mussel shells. It's a beautiful but very quiet border around this mysterious pool. It's a truly amazing sight. Now for the jacuzzi part of its name. Where do all the bubbles come from? Deep under the ocean floor, the ground is full of a special gas. This gas is called methane, and it slowly seeps up from the ground below. The gas pushes its way through the thick, super salty water of the lake. As it rises, it makes bubbles, just like the fizz in a can of soda. These bubbles float up, making the whole lake look like a warm, bubbling hot tub. So that explains the warm, bubbly jacuzzi part. But what about the despair? Well, for most ocean animals, this beautiful, shimmering lake is a place to avoid. It's a no-go zone. The super salty water has almost no oxygen, the stuff that fish and crabs need to breathe. If an unlucky crab wanders over the edge and into the pool, it can't survive. The strange water is toxic to most creatures who aren't built for it. So, is this place just an empty, bubbling pool at the bottom of the sea? Not at all. And this is where the story gets even more amazing. While it's a dangerous spot for some, this underwater lake is a perfect home for others. Right on the edge, along its shoreline, a whole community of special creatures is thriving. It's like a bustling city at the border of a strange new world. Let's zoom in on the heroes of this story. They are the mussels that line the lake's shore. These mussels don't eat food by catching it with a net or a mouth. Instead, they have a superpower. Inside their bodies live millions of tiny helpers. These are special bacteria. These tiny friends eat the chemicals that bubble up from the lake, like methane gas, which is something we can't eat at all. This amazing teamwork is how they live. The bacteria turn those chemicals into food, and they share that food with the mussel. It's a partnership that lets them live in a place no one else can. This is called chemosynthesis. It means making food from chemicals instead of sunlight. But that leaves one big question. Where did all this incredible salt come from in the first place? To find the answer, our journey has to travel back in time, way back, millions of years ago. Long before the dinosaurs, the Gulf of Mexico was a shallow sea. The hot sun shone down on it for a very, very long time. The water slowly dried up, leaving behind a giant, thick layer of salt on the ground. Over millions of years, mud and sand covered this huge salt layer, burying it deep under the seafloor. The heavy weight of the ocean above squeezed down on that buried salt. This pressure pushes the salt up through cracks in the seafloor, where it dissolves and forms these mysterious, bubbling pools we see today. This incredible discovery is one of the most exciting parts of our whole ocean journey. Finding life in a place with no sunlight and strange, bubbly chemicals is amazing. It's like finding a secret garden in a place everyone thought was empty. Here is the truly mind-blowing part. This underwater lake gives scientists clues about where to look for life on other planets. Faraway worlds, like Jupiter's moon Europa, might have hidden oceans under thick ice. If life can thrive here in our deep sea, maybe, just maybe, it can thrive there too. But how do we see all of this? We can't swim that deep. We send our best explorers, amazing robots. Scientists on ships guide these special machines, called remotely operated vehicles, or ROVs for short. These underwater robots are our eyes and hands in the deep ocean. They have bright lights to cut through the darkness, super clear cameras to see everything, and even gentle robot arms. They can dive much deeper than any person ever could, showing us worlds we've only dreamed of. Let's pause for a moment and think about what we've discovered together. A bubbling lake at the very bottom of the sea. It has its own shore and even its own waves. It's a place that is a trap for some creatures, but a perfect home for others. This one hidden spot connects us to the ancient past of our planet. It shows us how clever and surprising life can be. The ocean is always full of new wonders, waiting for us to find them. And our journey of discovery isn't over. Scientists are still asking so many exciting questions. What other tiny creatures live in the mud around the lake? How do the mussels know exactly where to build their homes to stay safe and find food? Every time we send a robot down into the darkness, we learn something new. The ocean is like a giant storybook, and we are just starting to read its most amazing chapters. It feels like the adventure is just beginning. So, the next time our young explorers look at a map of the world and see all that blue, they can remember what's hidden inside. It's not just water. It's a world of glowing animals, towering mountains, and even entire lakes at the bottom of the sea. Our planet is full of endless, wonderful surprises. Imagine being a tiny robot explorer, built to be brave. Your lights cut through the deep, dark water of the Gulf of Mexico. You float over the edge of the underwater lake, looking down at its still, strange surface. With a gentle push, you dive into the super salty water, a place no fish could ever visit and return from. These amazing robots are like little submarines with very strong shields. They are built to handle the heavy, salty water that would crush a normal machine. They have special arms to carefully pick up samples and cameras that act as our eyes, showing us this hidden world for the very first time. The robots sent back pictures and numbers that made scientists scratch their heads. They saw how the super salty water didn't mix with the ocean like oil and water in a jar, but they also measured tiny movements and strange temperatures. The lake wasn't just sitting there, it was slowly, mysteriously, alive with energy. And then, they saw something truly amazing. Right at the edge of the deadly pool, the robots' lights shined on the communities of mussels. They expected to find just a few survivors, but they found huge fields of them, all living happily right next to the danger zone. How do they do it? They don't eat food that falls from above. Instead, they have a superpower. Tiny living things inside them can eat the strange chemicals coming from the seafloor. It's like eating a smell instead of a sandwich. This amazing process is called chemosynthesis. Picture a garden that grows without any sunlight at all. That's what these mussel beds are. They create their own neighborhood of life, powered by things that are harmful to others. It's a secret recipe for survival, cooked up in the total darkness of the deep ocean. This changes how we see our whole ocean. These brine pools are not the only strange neighborhoods down here. Far away, near underwater volcanoes, hot vents shoot out steamy, chemical-rich water. And even there, Tube worms and other amazing creatures use that same chemical-eating superpower to live. It shows us, young explorers, that life is incredibly clever. It can find a way to live in places that seem impossible. It's a reminder that even in the toughest spots, there is wonder and strength. Life is a great inventor. This makes us wonder, what other secret worlds are still hiding in the deep? Are there more underwater lakes? Are there different kinds of amazing creatures living in other extreme spots? The ocean floor is a giant treasure map, and we have only explored a tiny corner of it. So our journey continues. New robot explorers are being built right now, designed to go deeper and stay longer. They will be our partners in discovery, swimming through the dark, shining a light on wonders we can't even imagine yet, and sharing the ocean's greatest stories with us all.